Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Abbassad, I'm sorry. The report that was released today by CIGAR it points to many issues about the contractor performance in Afghanistan. And would you agree that the poor contractor performance has hindered the Department of Defense's rebuilding efforts?
In some ways, yes, it has. Again, I would just say that Mr. Sopko's report details 44 projects, which is among over 1,000 that we've actually undertaken in the country.
Okay. Let me ask you something. On these projects, are there any provisions in your reconstruction contracts that require the contractor to complete the project before they are paid?
Let me turn to my colleague.
Sure, sure.
Yes, sir. We use the exact same federal acquisition regulations to do contracting in Afghanistan that we would use in the United States. So they are paid, the contractors are paid based on placement. Every month, every 2 months, they send us an invoice. We confirm they've done the work, and if they have, then we pay them for the work.
So it's not the complete project, it's just that portion of the project that you're paying for?
Yes, yes, sir. We pay them progress. As they make progress, we pay them. And same as we would here.
Do you ever hold back any in anticipation of, you've got to complete this project, not this portion of the project, but this project has got to be completed before you get the last check?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And so when a contractor falls behind schedule, the FAR, the Federal Acquisition Regulation, allows us to withhold up to 10% of the value of the project until they either catch up their schedule or they finish. But as I said earlier, many of these firms that we're contracting with in Afghanistan are very small businesses. We're trying to build an industry there. If we withhold much of a payment from them, they will simply fail as a business. They don't have the capital to carry the project. So when they fall behind, they won't pay their subcontractors, and then we have security problems on the job site if the subcontractor.
And I'm understanding of that, and I'm appreciative of that, but at the same time, this is interfering with the Department of Defense's rebuilding efforts. I mean, that's been acknowledged. We've got to do something. I mean, we're getting reports that we're continuing to contract with firms that aren't finishing the work.
The firms in Afghanistan that we do business with have gotten better and better over the years. We've literally had hundreds of Afghan construction firms perform satisfactorily on our projects. We've completed about 1,200 projects for DoD in Afghanistan. And we've literally done business with hundreds of small Afghan firms. So we've created a credible construction capacity there, and they are performing quite well. Security, obviously, is not within the control of the construction contractor, so if his workers are driven off the site or if he can't get material to the site, there's little he can do.
Okay, all right. Mr. Sopko, let me ask you, let me ask you your opinion of the oversight that the Department of Defense does on these projects. Do you think that it's adequate?
No. No, it's not. Part of it is because of security. It's not adequate. We have seen time and time again, and even on recent projects, somebody can't get out and check and see if the product was finished and it was completed in a proper manner.
Yet they're continuing to pay them.
Of course. If no one goes out and kicks the tires, you make the payment. So, no, and again...
Okay, y'all have got me confused here. I got somebody telling me, yeah, we were doing good and we're doing better, and then I got somebody else telling me no.
Sir, we employ, right now, we have 39 projects still under construction in Afghanistan. We employ about 200 Afghan engineers who are capable of visiting all of those project sites and do on a regular basis.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to get back to Mr. Sopko. I've got a report that the Ministry of Defense building took 5 years, 5 years, times the original budget to complete. Yet it's still not fully complete. Is that true? Mr. Sopko, is that...
Well, yeah, I think the construction is completed. When we ended it, I don't think it was fully occupied. I think it's finished, but it's not fully occupied.
5 years?
It's now complete and fully occupied. Mr. Brown's organization took care of that construction.
It was complete last summer and turned over to the CSTICA, and has
But,
been
but I am correct, 5 years?
approximately 5 years, yes. And we
Is
kinda
that
went through-
acceptable?
No, it is not.
Then what can we do to make it, what can we do to improve? I mean, and out of all due respect, I don't need to hear just, oh, it's security concerns.
Mr. Chairman, this is, Congressman, this isn't the most secure location in Afghanistan. This isn't downtown Kabul. You can see the building from our embassy. This is a thing that was done recently. Now, we have MOI. You can see that from the airport. And so if the security situation is bad, and I recognize there's security problems, if they can't do it under time and on budget there, what do you expect if they're doing something in Kajaki where no American can get to? And that was one of the things they're still working on, the Kajaki Dam. We have been trying to finish the Kajaki Dam since 1950. It is the longest public works project in the history of the United States. It makes the big dig look like a real short dig. Now, we are putting money in it, and I heard somebody refer to DABs. We decided to go on budget because we couldn't do the project ourselves. So we gave it to the Afghans to do it. But there's no Americans checking to see if they're doing it. Last time we heard, the turbine parts had been sitting out there for years and been rusting in a boneyard. They don't fit. They don't work together. But I was assured by USAID it's going to be completed in my lifetime.
You know, maybe what we ought to do is just to get some helicopters and get money and just drop it over the country. I mean, seriously. This is totally unacceptable.
Kajaki Dam is now totally surrounded by the insurgents. And even when we finish Kajaki Dam, sir, most of the, I wouldn't say most, probably a good percentage of electricity is going to be diverted to the insurgents. So we are basically paying for a power plant for the insurgents.
Ms. Soko, thank you, but I'll be quite honest with you. I could have gone all day without hearing this. This is really disappointing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your indulgence.
Thank you, and it is about time we get USAID and